It's 5:30 here on the Truman State campus, and welcome to TMN Television on Thursday, April 7th. I'm Amber Draper.
And I'm Ingrid Roettgen. Tonight, we look at the results of Tuesday's municipal elections.
Plus, stay tuned to see how one Truman sports team is striving to make wishes come true.
And don't forget to catch up on Truman Sports with Sarah Hicks on the Dog Pound.
These stories and more tonight on TMN Television. You don't want to miss this.
Kirksville citizens gathered in City Hall Tuesday night to hear the results of the municipal elections. Candidate Chuck Long and incumbent candidate Richard Detweiler secured the two open seats on City Council. The City Council will meet and vote about which council members will serve as mayor and mayor pro tem. In addition to voting on council seats, Adair County citizens also elected two new members to the Kirksville R3 School Board of Directors. These positions went to John McConnell and Gayla McHenry. Citizens also voted in favor of renewing the half-cent Kirksville Economic Development sales tax. The tax was originally set to end in 2019. The renewal allows the city to allocate the excess $600,000 the tax generates each year to economic development and no longer includes a sunset clause.
The Franklin Street outlet officially debuted with the ribbon cutting last Thursday. The business is going to make revenue for Kirksville's Community Opportunity Sheltered Workshop. The workshop director, Katie Fine-Newman, says the disabled employees at the sheltered workshop build furniture, medical equipment, and home goods. Franklin Street outlet receives new shipments of these items every week. The store officially opened in November, but Fine-Newman says she moved the ribbon cutting to the spring for better community support. Many community members came to the shop and looked at the new store. Fine-Newman says the event was good for business and people should come in and shop.
After the break, we take a closer look at the volunteers who help with polling at the elections.
But before all that, let's take a look at this week's forecast.
Will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Even in its off-season, the women's soccer team is making a difference on and off the field. TMN's Corey McCubbin has the story.
This semester, the Truman women's soccer team is partnering with the Wishmakers on campus to bring a little philanthropy to the sidelines. During Saturday's game, the committee set up a table to take donations for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This is the first time women's soccer has partnered with the Wishmakers.
So this summer I was an intern for Make-A-Wish Missouri, and so through that I really just learned what Make-A-Wish was about, and I helped grant some wishes and plan their trips and things like that.
The Wishmakers on campus has been active for 3 semesters. It currently has a small number of members, but they are working toward a good cause. The group puts on 2 events per semester to raise funds and awareness for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Sydney Spain is a co-head of the Wishmakers who helped man the donations table at Saturday's game.
We're going to try and do other sporting events as well in the fall. So next semester we're going to do a football game and then maybe a basketball game as well, because we know that a lot of people go to those.
The Make-A-Wish donation table was up for both men's and women's soccer games on Saturday. The women's soccer team took home the victory against UCM with a 2-1 score. For the Truman Media Network, I'm Corey McCubbin.
While a municipal election like the one Tuesday might be a smaller scale operation than running a federal or state election, local elections still require months of planning and many volunteers. TMN reporter Paige Youngerman has the story.
Retired Secretary Artis Ball has been a poll place worker for about 5 years. Ball says she started working at the polls because she was looking for something to do after her retirement.
Polls open at 6 a.m., but we have to be here an hour ahead just to get everything unpacked and organized and ready for the first voter. And it takes almost that long in the evening to wind everything up. So it's a long day.
Adair County Clerk Sandy Kolop says finding poll workers like Ball can be challenging. At least 38 poll workers are needed to run Adair County's 10 polling locations. Each location has 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans working the polls, except the Truman State location, which was reduced to just 2 workers because of low voter turnout at the sub.
These people have to go through training before each election. We had our training yesterday, and because you just can't go in there and sit down and know what you're doing. There's different laws that the poll workers have to adhere to. So, having established base of poll workers is very important.
Collop says almost all poll workers are community members, and many of them are of retirement age because working the polls requires staying at the polls while they are open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. during Election Day. Collop says poll place workers are paid a stipend for their service, with poll place judges receiving a stipend of $100 and polling supervisors receiving a stipend of $125. Supervisors receive a higher stipend because they are responsible for making sure the polls open and close properly, deal with any issues that occur during elections, and make sure the clerk's office receives the necessary paperwork at the end of the day. Anyone interested in working the polls for a future election should contact the county clerk's office. For the Truman Media Network, I'm Paige Youngerman.
Stay tuned for our sports segment, The Dog Pound, hosted by Sarah Hicks.
We'll be right back.
With the sweet burn of moonshine on a burger. It's not illegal, but it tastes like it. Introducing the Midnight Moonshine Thick Burger with moonshine glaze on 100% Black Angus beef. Only at Hardee's.
Hello and welcome to the Dog Pound, always brought to you by Hardee's. I am Sarah Hicks. The softball and baseball teams are hoping their season preparation will be enough to carry them through to the GLVC championships. The Truman State softball team only has 12 regular season games left to play. The team is competing to be at the top of the conference ranking. The ladies are preparing for a pair of doubleheaders against Rockhurst and William Jewell this weekend in Kansas City. The Truman baseball team could not gain footing against the Drury Panthers last Sunday. During Sunday's doubleheader, the Panthers won Game 1 6-1 and Game 2 11-6. The team currently sits 12-17 overall and 4-4 in conference play. The Bulldogs will play Maryville University in St. Louis this weekend. Be sure to tune in to TMN on Twitter for updated athletic scores. A Truman alum will be introduced into the Hall of Fame. Let's take a look. This week, former Bulldog Director of Athletics and former track and field coach Kenneth Gardner has been selected for induction into the Mid-America Intercollegiate Athletics Hall of Fame in June. During his time at Truman, he founded Truman Athletics and the Missouri Intercollegiate Athletics Association. Gardner coached 39 individual NCAA Division II All-Americans and had 11 win individual national championships. He passed away in 1992, but is still remembered in the Truman State Hall of Fame. Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of the Dog Pound. Be sure to support your Bulldogs this weekend. I am Sarah Hicks reporting for the Truman Media Network.
Truman's baseball and softball teams are in the swing of their 2016 campaigns. Contributing reporter Dan Micah has the story.
After putting away the Drury University Panthers in their Saturday doubleheader with 5 home runs, Truman's baseball team struggled to keep the momentum going at the plate and on the mound Sunday. The Dogs lost the first game 6-1 after giving up 4 runs in the top of the 7th after trailing the Panthers 2-1 for most of the game. The story continued for most of Game 2, with the Dogs pitching staff giving up 11 runs and failing to score until the 6th inning. The offense picked up in the bottom of the 9th and put up 5 runs, but it wasn't enough, and they ended their weekend series with Drury with an 11-6 loss. At the midpoint of baseball season, the Dogs are 12-17 overall and hovering 3rd from last in the GLVC West Division. Head coach Dan Davis says the team's consistency is key to their success in the second half.
Well, I think we're definitely improving. You know, we have that case of where we show up some days and we forget to show up some days, and I'm pretty confident that we're going to show up in this second game.
One bright spot this season has been closer sophomore Peter Young, who has only given up 2 runs over 7 saves this season. He says the team is primed to make a run in upcoming games.
It's looking like we're going well, but then we have little setbacks here and there, but we need to take 2 steps forward for every 1 step back.
On the other side of the ballpark, the softball team won their first game of their Sunday doubleheader with Missouri St. Louis 1-0 after senior Kelsey Dorothy shut out the Tritons through 7 innings. Sophomore Jamie Fowle's lone RBI in the first was all that was needed to take first blood in the doubleheader. The pitching duel continued in Game 2, with the Dogs and Tritons tied at 1 coming into the 7th inning. 2 late home runs propelled Missouri St. Louis to a win and a 2-2 split in the weekend series. The softball team is in 4th place overall in the GLVC and has 6 more series left to play until the conference tournament. Head coach Erin Brown says she's looking forward to her team's stretch of games before season's end.
What I've learned from anything is that if you overlook any teams, you'll be sorry that you did so. So really staying within the week and the opponents that we're getting ready to face and really working on those and preparing for them so that we're ready to go.
Both teams will be on the road this Saturday as baseball faces Maryville University in St. Louis and softball plays Rockhurst University in Kansas City. For the Truman Media Network, I'm Dan Micah.
That brings us to the end of our program. Be sure to check out our exclusive web content at tmn.truman.edu. For weekend updates and special coverage, look for TMN Television on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And for complete multimedia coverage, pick up a copy of The Index.
And tune in to KTRM on 88.7 The Edge. From all of us at TMN Television, thanks for tuning in and have a great rest of the week.